Welcome to the after show for Rebel, episode 6, titled Nickel and Dime. We have a special guest. Don't go anywhere.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Does anyone remember this song? Anyone remember the words? I don't. Morning, noon, I take one look at you, and it was plain to see you were my destiny. Welcome to the after show for Rebel. My name is Ava Hill, and you can find me on Instagram at the Ava Hill. But before I introduce my co-host, I'm trying to introduce our guest, Angela Cole. Angela, tell all the fans where they can find you on social media.
Okay, well, you can find me at the Angela Co on all my handles at TheAngelako on Instagram and on Twitter and Facebook.
Oh, you got it all.
Yeah, I just made it universal.
Yeah.
Because at first it was coconut with zeros in it.
Wait, hold on. I'm here for that. Was it coconut with a K or coconut with a C?
Coconut with a K.
Okay,
You
okay.
know.
I'm here for that.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Well, Angela, welcome to the show. So glad that you can make it into my left, ladies.
Yes, guys. I'm Lynneisha, and you guys can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Lynneisha_33.
What's up, y'all? My name is TK Trinidad. The live chat is on. Keep talking, comments, all that good stuff. And you can find me on everything at TK Trinidad.
Yay! So let's get into it. So first of all, before we go into the episode, let's get to know about Angela Coe. So tell us about yourself. Where are you from? How did you get into acting? Just tell us like the journey all the way to getting to Rebel in a brief.
Okay, I'm like, brief
summary.
Okay, I was born in Taipei.
Okay.
And I spent about 8 years in the Philippines and then moved to Vegas.
Oh.
So I spent a good chunk of my life in Vegas, pretty much going up there.
Time out. How is it living in Vegas? I've always wondered about that. Like, how is it living there?
It's fun. Everyone that goes there goes for a purpose to vacation, but
Right.
when you live there, you get to. I think it's a perfect balance of being able to do daytime things. Like, we don't live in hotels. We live in houses.
We actually have a life.
No, I literally got that question for the
Really?
And I was like, no.
So does the strip ever get old, though? Does it get...
Yeah, you know what? The partying constantly, because the thing is, you live there, and people that come, they're just like, oh,
I wanna go to the
live
strip.
in Vegas.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody that comes in, I'm like, I can't party every day. I cannot. My liver can't take it. But you know what? The clubs are the nightlife there, and it's never ending. It's 24 hours.
Yeah.
So you can get up at 3 in the morning. You can get up, eat.
And houses
you
are
want.
amazing and cheap.
Super cheap, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about like for what. It threw me off when I came here. I was like, what?
So, like, for a studio, for instance, how much would a studio be
you
there?
get, like, a
They don't even
3-bedroom.
have studios,
Yeah.
really. I don't think.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
maybe some places. It depends. Like, if they have some areas, but
But it's hella cheap. Like,
hella
cheap.
I mean, like, what, $400?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes,
$400
but
for
no,
what?
that's like it's like in
Like
the West
Henderson or
Side.
something.
No, I'm talking
okay.
about like the West Side, somewhere. But you can get like a really nice, brand new, remodeled everything, 1 bedroom. $700, $800.
I'm going to Vegas.
Me too.
Girl.
Let's go.
Actually, just
Like,
kidding. I
no.
can't. But anyway, enough of the Vegas tangent. So, yes, you lived in Vegas.
Yes. And I've been acting for some time. My mom and my grandma were kind of in the arts. So my grandma and my mom were dancers, and my grandma's always been acting. And so I also have that other side where I had to be in school, kind of typical Asian family. I'm not going to say that, my Filipino mom and all that good stuff. But so I do that. But acting was always my passion. And I did a couple little plays in middle school, trained a little bit here and there, but where I really took a turn was when I met my acting coach and mentor and everything, kind of like my spirit kind of teacher, everything, really.
And your
my
coach
late
is here or in...
Well, she's in Atlanta. She comes back and forth.
Oh,
but
okay.
We were there. We were based in Vegas.
Okay.
And it was a ensemble called House of Tribes, and it was about like 18 or 20 of us, and it was just amazing. We put on, she's a genius. She's a complete freaking genius, but we put on productions and shows from start to finish, about 7 of them back to back within a month.
Sounds like
after
summer
month.
stock.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Summer stock.
It's kind of the same thing. It's just you kind of you go to a theater and you set up shop. You literally you put the set up, you put the set down, and then while you're doing that show, you're rehearsing for another show. Then you put the show up, and you take the show. It's literally for like 10 weeks.
Oh yeah, no, and brand new from start to finish, writing everything, and it
makes you super polished though as an artist.
It does, and it really it's inspiring, and you get to see all aspects of it, and how this one woman was able to do that. And from there, she introduced me to Carl Ford, who's this amazing acting coach with Susan Batson's son in Susan Batts Studios. And from then, I really was able to understand what training meant and acting. Because, you just start off acting, you're like, I just love to be on stage. I just want to say these lines. I just want to be around people. And, you feel off of this. And it's, theaters and plays and things like that. We did things for Fringe. And then from there, it kind of... they moved on to Atlanta, and I kind of followed with them in Atlanta a few years later and started Alchemy of Acting, and from there training there, and I trained in New York, trained in Atlanta, training here. So that's really important to me. But fast forward to right before actually the show, because it's kind of a little crazy story, but I was just deciding to move and like go gung-ho for myself for acting. Honestly, you know what I mean? Because I was like, okay, so what I'm gonna do, we'll go gung-ho for it. And at the time I was gonna move to New York, which was interesting. But because I went to New York for Tribeca. All right, this is gonna carry on forever. You're gonna have to tell me to stop. I went to New York for Tribeca, and I trained with Susan Batson. And I was fresh from training, and I'd heard about, I came back around here to do some workshops, and I'd heard about Natasha Ward doing a workshop, and that's how I heard about Rebel. So I put myself on tape.
Nice.
I put myself on tape, and Lynneisha, Master is my mentor and coach, and Kim Harden called me in for a chemistry read about the next week later.
Nice.
Yes. And then I was able to read with Danielle, which was amazing.
Yeah. I can imagine, because you guys have such good chemistry.
I love her, honestly. But, I'm going on, but there's so many things that happened during the time. It happened really fast. It was really divine, to be honest with you. Just the way...
Everything lined up.
Absolutely. I just, during my time in Atlanta, I did some workshops with Kim Harden, Lynneisha set up as well. And it just was like, what is going on? I was telling myself I was moving to New York, but God wanted me to be in LA for some reason. Just the things that happened, the emails I got, oh, come to this casting workshop. And I'm like, I should go to that. Something's telling me to go. Okay, let me go there, follow up with this. And then it just kind of lined up.
I have goosebumps.
Yeah. No, it's real.
Yeah.
And I just, it's taking long, but I think it's important to tell people that, because
that's when sometimes when you have to go with the flow, and then I think that's the epitome of like kind of letting go and letting life happen, because you yourself wanted to go someplace else.
Yeah.
That's where you thought everything was going to happen for you.
In my mind, because I was like, I'm going to challenge myself. But the thing is, I think that when I just at least put it in the universe, I'm doing this for me, and I'm not letting anything, then you kind of let it, then it comes with let it go, because then you go with the flow of how things are happening. You're like, I don't know why this is happening. I honestly didn't know I was staying in LA longer too. I was like, I don't know why, but I'm gonna stay here a little longer. I get that call, and I was like, oh, okay. And then you're scrambling, and I didn't live here at the time. I didn't. Wow. So I had to figure all that stuff out, and then I get that, and then I found out I got it, and I was like,
yeah, so how was that moment?
Let me tell you, I lost it happened so fast. But the chemistry read was amazing and awesome too. But so that happened, and I think a few days later, I couldn't sleep. You're like, it was cool. No, I could not sleep. This was first for everything on TV, all that stuff for me. So I was like, ugh. And I just kept telling myself, now it's up to God, and just whatever happens, politics.
Y'all getting a sermon today?
No,
really,
a
necessary sermon, because this is
the truth.
Now
I did what I could do. I prepared. I trained. I connected with all the things I could connect to as an actor. Gave as much of myself as I could, and and then I did it, and then that's all I can do.
But you know, I feel like your story is going to inspire so many people, including me as a performer, because you've basically shown that you need to just let things go, and that you can work as hard as you want to work, and that's a good thing. Yes. But at the same time, you have to, you know, really let go and let the universe work for you instead of trying to control everything.
Because you'll miss, and I've done that on and off for the years. You know, you try to control.
You try to control everything,
and you get so stressed or kind of like desperate for it, and it happens. You know what's for you is for you. I think that's what this part of the journey that I've been blessed to be able to have. Like I'm blessed. There's a little bit of luck in there, and I'm like, no, that's some serious, divine
and listen,
timing.
You fit Chena to a T. I absolutely love you in the role. You and Danielle have who is Rebel on the show. For those of you who do not know, you guys have an amazing chemistry. How is it working with her on set? Like, do you guys hang out off set? Like, what is come with the friendship that you guys have from Rebel?
You know what? It started off the first time we met, honestly, which was the chemistry test. She was so warm and so before you, as an actor, like when you get it, I kind of go into like, okay, how am I going to substitute this? How am I going to personalize it and put it in the room? And then I saw her and I was like, oh my God, it just clicked. Felt real. It clicked. I asked her what her sign was. She was a Pisces. I'm a Cancer. I'm like, we're water signs, girl. And, just kind of flowed. And it just felt right. I mean, even Dallas Jackson, who's one of the executive producers, when we were, and you had him he's a Cancer, and I'm like, my Cancer buddy. He in the room, he was like, did you guys know each other before? I swear to you, in there, and I was like, no, we didn't, but it just felt good. And she was one of the first people that hit me up when they what happened is John and Delaney called me.
Oh, wow.
And what a big phone call to get.
From John himself.
Okay, I know I'm bouncing around. Sorry, I'd be all over the place. But the day I got that call, I actually was like delusional because I hadn't slept in so long, and I missed a few phone calls, I guess. But they were like, call her, call her. And I was like, hey, she tried to trick me. She was like, we don't know yet, anything, but hold on. And I was like, okay. It was like, hey, it's John Singleton, you got it. And I was like, ah! And I literally...
Because it's one thing to get the call, but if another thing to get it from John Singleton personally, because normally your agency will call you and be like, hey, you booked the show, but to get it from like John himself, that's huge. That's huge.
Yeah. Well, and Delaney, who's been with me for 7 years, this journey, like years and years, and I cried. They were, happy a moment. I was like, okay.
And then you partied, I hope.
Well, I stopped and I had to call my mom.
Yes, the mom call is important.
The mom call, crying.
Got to do the mom call.
Actually, I don't think I ended up sleeping after. I literally didn't sleep, so I took like a couple hours nap, and then I went home and packed up and then moved out.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
So all of that leads to you being Chena, and I absolutely
sorry, now I have to circle back.
Love you. No, I loved all of that. Now everyone knows like some details as to how you got Chena and where you're from and all that kind of stuff. So let's get into the episode. So episode 6, titled Nickel and Dime. Actually, I was telling you before we started the show, this was one of my favorite shows for many reasons, and I think one of them has to do with the fact that the case in this particular episode touched on so many things between the church and homosexuality in the Black community. How did it feel for you to be in this episode? What did you get out of this? How did Danielle feel, I guess, like with you guys collaborating in this episode? Like, how was it for you guys to be in that church? Because the church scene that you guys were in was pretty heavy when you guys were sitting together in the pew and she was crying, obviously thinking about Malik. How was that for you?
It was intense. I mean, we knew that it was a heavy topic and we wanted to
do it right.
We wanted to do it right. We wanted to give the justice to it, that it deserved, and it was heavy. I think that at least for Chena, in that moment for Malik, I know that she'd been carrying this whole time and doesn't really show it. You know what I mean? She carries all this on her shoulders. She's tough, but it weighs on her, and so all of that singing brings it back. And it was touching. I mean, as far as the other scenes in I'm over here trying to
Hold on, lift up your mic a little, like a little.
Right here?
There you go.
Okay.
Boom.
Yeah. And in the church scene was hard. It was very heavy. The topic is, I mean, and you even see before that with Mrs. Silver and her denial, with it. It was just like, whoa,
Can you imagine being in that situation though as a wife if you found out that your husband had some
but it complicates things
the
because you're in the
gag.
church.
Yeah. The gag is
right, and that's
the
why
gag.
it's like that's why he is married with kids to kind of hide that she's basically his beard, and she kind of it is what it is.
Child.
And I feel like with that hesitation, she's like. He's married. I'm married to him. He has kids. He's not gay, but she hesitated to say that, So it's like in the back of her mind, she knew something,
Absolutely.
And it's like that happens with a lot of them, and in that community, especially if they're in the church and they're pastors and things like that, they don't want to admit to that because it's a sin and it's
Yeah, absolutely. No, I agree.
Yeah.
That's tough.
And I'm so glad that you guys became friends again. I really wanted that to happen sooner than later. So how do you feel like Chena felt from episode 5 to 6 and you guys reconnecting? Do you think that I kind of want Chena to take this seriously and actually become like a private investigator?
She's good at it.
You're
good at it.
You're really
Thank you.
Chena / Angela.
Yeah.
She's really, really good at it. I mean, do you think that Chena's like getting some backbone to be a PI?
Yeah, I think that she's
Did I make a prediction? Low key?
I don't know what's going on. I wasn't on the show. No, I think that. Well, okay, so what happened? Let me answer the first part of the question from how she felt from 5 to 6. I think that she's really hurt. Angela Coe, I understand looking out like, girl, you can't just wake up and do this. I know what Rebel is trying to protect her. But for Chena, in her mind, she's protecting Rebel in a way. She wants to be
That's
a part
a good way
of it.
to.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She wants to be a part of it because she feels like she can soften things up or she can keep a watch out because in her mind she thinks Rebel can get a little reckless. She knows how that goes. You know what I mean? She knows that it's just right there from the pilot episode. You know what I mean? It broke her. I've seen that. Chena, I've seen what some things can happen. It's right at the edge of there and it can fall apart, and I want to be able to be there to make sure everything's okay. You know what I mean?
I literally just saw you go from Angela to Chena. It was kind of magical just now. I literally saw that in the flesh. But continue. Just want to put that out there. But continue.
Yeah, no, so that's a big part of it. But she felt really, ending in episode 4, I think she just really felt underappreciated and kind of taken for granted. And like, I could do it. You should root for me to want to do this. You should want me to be around. Why you gotta
be so hard on them?
Why? Like, give me a little chance. Don't you see I'm trying? I think, she's got a strong need to really like take care and nurture and so she just wants to help any way possible. And then it gets her in trouble because she doesn't realize the other repercussions of things. You know what I mean? She doesn't get that side of it. But I think that, from this, she also, I think in their friendship, Rebel also realizes that, like, okay, there is some, things can happen. Maybe if Chena was there, this might not have happened with the, the roofing and things like that. But it happens in every friendship, I think. You go through that.
Yeah.
You
know, I was gonna say, and I like how Chena kept Rebel in check about her apology. Because she kind of came and just apologized and was like, okay, well, what are you sorry for? You can't just come and say you're sorry.
That's a real friend too.
Especially when it was something so deep. Okay, so you're sorry for what?
For what exactly? Because I don't, and I know it's tough for her, but we grew up together. So there's a lot, you get in arguments, you get in little things. You get in little things where you can kind of just brush it off. A lot of times we do that. I'm just like, you don't really talk about it. You leave for a little bit. The next day you're like, you want to get some coffee? Or you want to go get your nails done? Because, mine are busted up right now. Like, let's do it. You know what I mean? Or something like that. And but this wasn't something that could be. This was
That could just be washed over.
Yeah,
to be addressed
this
on
wasn't.
this one.
There was some
mutual
personal
respect that needed to be had.
absolutely,
Yeah.
and on both sides.
On both sides.
Absolutely, because I do. Chena gets a little ahead of herself and doesn't realize that it does. And I think it did offend Rebel. Like, it takes a little bcome more than just picking up and thinking you can come on to do this.
Yeah.
Like, it's dangerous and it takes a lot of work to do it. But I did, for the apology.
Yeah.
It was like, speak, please, come on.
Like,
Now,
I need this.
do you think Chena her goal is to be the sidekick or a partner?
A partner.
Because the thing is, like,
That's
I feel like if you look at like a lot of superhero stuff, and it's just kind of like certain people, like each individual has a talent and a skill.
Absolutely.
And it feels like Chena, she's really good with the tech.
Yeah.
And it's just like she knows that part, but then yet still she wants to do all the other stuff, and that's where the issue lies. And it feels like Rebel did apologize to her, but Chena didn't see. Like, I could still see Chena still making that mistake. Like, Rebel's in trouble, instead of, even though she doesn't necessarily trust Mac, even though Mac is more qualified than her as far as handling the physical aspect.
Exactly.
Chena might put herself in a position of, like, I can handle this, even though there's no training.
I feel like Chena low-key really wants to be a PI. And in her ideal world, if she
She's
had
ambitious.
it would be her and Rebel together. You don't think so? Like, in their own little PI situation, they could just handle things together.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that in Chena's mind, that's it. Like, we're girls.
Like, we got
Why
this
can't
together?
we kick ass together? Like, let's do this. I'll learn whatever I need to learn to figure this out. You know what I mean? And go out there and do
That's
it.
a real best friend.
That is.
Do you have any best friends in your life that would go in the dirt? I mean, even transfer careers for you? I don't know.
I don't know about you.
I don't know about all
Well,
that.
you know what? That's where
It's a real friend. Just saying.
That's where it like lies too, because it also ties into her family and her culture, the whole tech job, and she's a computer security associate, and she that's stable for her. It's her it's her bread and butter. She knows how to do it. It kind of comes easy, probably side of things. So she doesn't. I don't think she takes it as seriously as a job thing. Maybe that's the wrong word to say, but
She's been doing it for so, like, I have
it's just
I have
like
a friend just like that, worked for the government for, I don't know, like 10 years. This chick could do it in her sleep while she's on vacation.
Yeah.
And it's just like, okay, like, she doesn't, but now she wants to come on and do all this other stuff, and it's like, all right, you can do that, but you need to learn.
You have to learn it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't just think you can just come on and
Exactly, and just magically
See, I have friends
learn.
that need to be in the FBI because how it's set up, if I have like a boy crush and I ask them to go and look,
they
come
find
back
it.
with stuff that is.
I have
I'm like,
a girlfriend.
I'm like, how did you? I have friends that need to be in the government. I don't have any friends in the government, but
That skill, Ava? To find out that what?
no, not at all.
I have some friends in the government. It's an easy call. You go.
Okay, well then I'm gonna have to.
Not at all. Not at all. I mean,
wouldn't do
you can
that.
easily find out some things on the internet, but there are some things that my friends will come back and find, and I'm like, how? Like, you really did some
Like, they did
deep, like
yeah.
some deep. Like, we'll come back with the middle name and like
Where
their
they hung
aunt's
out.
name, where they were born, what time, the weight they were born. I'm like,
What?
what? Yeah, it's crazy.
Was that
Social media for you. So, I mean, if anything, I feel like Chena is Rebel's right hand, when it comes to this stuff. So, I don't know. I'm going to make an early prediction. I'm going to say that maybe Chena will she'll start to take this really seriously. I mean, I already think that she is, but I
get the training that she needs for
Look at her
it.
face. Look at her. No. Okay.
No, it's my contact. My contact's wearing.
Well, since we can't get anything from that, I also want to talk about Renee, Rebel's father. I want to get into this relationship that he has. I'm kind of here for this woman. I really like her a lot. And Rebel, I guess, she already kind of is coming into the gate kind of with some, I don't know, prejudgment from a long time ago. What do you think is good about Renee's relationship? His not new relationship, but kind of repeated relationship that has come back years later.
From the outside, in terms of the show itself and their relationship, I think she's good to ground him and to keep him away from the drinking. I think Rebel has tried to mention it and bring it up, and he just doesn't listen to his daughter. You know what I mean? It's like, you're my daughter. But his woman, you know, is Jackie. There's some part of her that really connects with him in that way to be able to kind of tone it down. And I think, well, there's also the accident that happened that really kind of, you know, highlighted that part of it. But I do think that she makes him feel a little less alone in so many ways, you know.
I think because they have that issue in common.
Yeah, they have that issue in common.
You know, alcoholism.
They can connect about it. Yeah. They can talk about it. And and it is different coming from somebody who doesn't know about alcoholism, who doesn't, because then you feel like it's a judgment, it's an attack, you know what I mean?
And I was proud of her in the episode because she could have easily kind of backfired on quitting, and she could have easily just started drinking with Renee, but instead she was like, no, I'm not drinking. I'm sticking to this. This is what I'm doing. You need to get on board. And you can kind of see that, you know, I mean, even in the episode, he was like, you know what? I'm going to jump on board with this too, and I'm going to stop drinking. So maybe Rebel down the line will appreciate Jackie. I don't know.
I feel it's the opposite because he just went through a whole situation with his son. He hasn't dealt with that, and he's using her as a buffer, a cushion. It's like, okay, well, she doesn't drink anymore, but he's getting some loving, he's getting some attention, all this, and he's not dealing with his feelings. So Rebel let him go to jail. There's nowhere to drink it. Well, you can drink hooch in jail, but, you know, he's going to figure it out that he's going to essentially try to...
No, she's not letting him go to jail.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If she did, because sometimes you have to let people hit rock bottom. If you keep letting them, you know, letting them bounce back, how long has he been an alcoholic for? This is nothing new.
No. Which actually is a great segue, because what do you think, at the end of the episode, Rebel was in a predicament between choosing to get justice for her brother or pretty much saving her father. Yeah. What would you have done? I'm opening the floor. What would you have done if you were in that situation? Would you have saved your dad? Would you say, you know what? No, he needs to go to prison. He needs to learn his lesson. He has needed to quit doing this for years and then just focus on justice for your brother. Like, what would you do in that situation?
That's a hard one. It's your parent, and it's your only parent left.
At that.
And, you know, it's your only closest family. I mean, I'm an only child. And, you know,
I'm an only child, too.
Only child.
Air 5.
Yeah, and single, you know, mom. You know what I mean? And
I'm not a single mom.
Well, my mom is a single
mom.
Oh,
I was like, Aaron,
I'm not a single mom.
Let me put my hand back. Let me put my hand back.
Not yet. No babies yet. But my mom is. I would be. I would not. I couldn't. I would do what Rebel did.
Really?
I really would.
What about you guys?
That just him. It would be all over the media. And then they would try to flip it and drag that.
You know what? That's smart. I didn't even think of it. Right. So then they would try to make this whole father's in trouble, the son's in trouble. They're both just
a troubled family.
And throw it all in the dirt. And then where
Isn't
does
it
that
crazy
go?
how police departments will just do anything sometimes? Not all of them. Let me be clear. Not all of them. Don't attack me. I didn't mean it like that. But in certain circumstances, how they will do what they have to do to kind of create like a case.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not the police department. You're also looking at the media as well.
Yeah, the media plays a huge part. So let me just be clear. Not all the media, not every police department. I don't want the police coming after me. But there are some circumstances, and we've all seen it in real life, where they will take a case and they will try to kind of dig up things from somebody's past 10 years ago just to make a case for why they did what they did. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't think of it that way. Like, I never thought about, well, if the father gets in trouble, then they'll make it like a duo situation.
Right. Improves their case
Improve their case a lot more. Right. So, do you think that in Renee's circumstance, would you have taken the $5 million, or would you have said, no, I want justice for my son, I don't want the $5 million?
Well, you have to look at the fact, too, like, say she did it, Rebel did what she did, right? But he's not, for lack of a better word, cured. So 2 weeks down the line or a year from the line, he could be drinking, he can die, and now you're thinking, well, I could have done something to possibly save him and then also have justice for my brother. Yeah. So, yeah, obviously, if it was my parent, I would definitely do the same thing as well, but looking from, like, outside, objectively, it's like, okay, he's making all these mistakes, and he obviously hasn't dealt with it. Neither has Rebel, but she has a different vice. So he obviously hasn't dealt with it. So, you know, it's like, okay, well, I'm saving him now, but what am I saving him for? But you do
raise a good point, though, because at some point, the person themselves, they have to reach rock bottom in order to say, I need to go get help. So if she does save Renee in this circumstance, which she decided to do, then it's like, as a daughter, I would feel kind of burdened with, okay, well, I saved him this time, but he's probably going to drink again. So what has to be done? Because at this point, even an accident didn't really help. So what has to happen in order for him to say, you know what, I've stopped? And maybe that's where Jackie will come in. Maybe she'll stick around. Oh, okay. We're looking around. No, you don't know? Okay.
Those situations are kind of tough.
Right, they are tough.
Yeah.
They are
Especially
tough.
when you come in a situation where something tragic has happened and now you're stepping into the situation because you can't. Yeah,
it's not your place either. You know, you're trying to. I think she's trying to feel out where her place is because it is a tricky situation.
It is a tricky situation.
It's tricky.
Yeah.
I think she's reaching out. Rebel has not, faced, she just has a serious problem with her. And but I think at the end that was a real moment where they connected in terms of the family, because Rebel was really, really hurt. That was what Mr. Knight said to her, Renee said to her was intense. As a daughter, you know what I mean, it would be really, really affecting, and I think they connected with that just too much, at the moment.
I also respect Jackie for her patience when it comes to Rebel. Because, I don't know. Sometimes I feel like another woman in that situation would have popped off and would have been like, you're not going to talk to me like that. I don't care if you don't like me or not. But I feel like Jackie really took it in as like, okay, it's going to take a little second, but I'm willing to stick this out for her, because it's not like she's coming into an easy situation. I mean, Renee has a lot of issues, and then the daughter's like not liking her. So it's not like she has a lot of reasons to
she's
stay.
Never really had because they have the flashbacks from when Rebel was younger, and I would assume this is after her mother's death. So she probably never really had a good place or relationship with Rebel, and she's always kind of had to like maybe walk on those eggshells to.
That's a real one. That's a real one. Because I mean,
respect that relationship.
Yeah. Because I mean, I feel like there's really, yes, of course, there are some reasons to stay in that situation if you do love the person. But I mean, you have to weigh out your pros and cons. And there's a lot of cons in this situation that she could easily be like, look, I'm out. I don't have to. I'm sober. I'm gonna keep being sober. I don't have time to like babysit somebody else who is deciding to still drink. He has a daughter. There's a lot going on. I'm gonna bounce. But I respect the fact that she's had a lot of patience. She sat down with Renee, went over questions with him, correct him grammatically, which is important. So yeah, I loved that. And then the last thing I want to get into, which is kind of something that I predicted for episode 5, but so Mac, guys,
Mr.
getting his Mac on. Getting his Mac on, the little slick hand. He, caresses his little hand on her face, wipe a little tear from her eye. And there's like a little pause in there where they wanted to kiss each other, but they didn't. And then
that phone call.
That phone call. So Chena or Anna? Chena. Yes. Chena. So you are kind of like me when it comes to like a best friend. You just really want the best for your best friend. You really want a good guy in their life. So if you were there in that moment, what would Chena have done? Would she have interrupted the situation? Would she?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I think
I'm
so.
trying to hear it
but
from
not
Chena.
Necessarily. Yeah. Not obviously not like stop. I would have probably. Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
What was going on? So
cooking eggs in the background or something silly.
If they got together, though, if they happened to find something like a connection and get together, would Chena be? Do you think that Chena would eventually kind of, I don't know, get used to that idea? Do you think that Chena would never support it? What do you think Chena would do?
I think that. Okay, I think that it's hard when you're a friend. It's a relationship. So, and I know, and I do this sometimes as Chena obviously kind of gets in the middle, like, so what's going on? Well, that is my lane. Like, especially when TJ, that's my lane. That's my friend. That protective, overly protective kind of like overly in there. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yep, right.
Yep.
What do you mean? Like, no, what's happening? Because listen, the thing is when y'all break up or something happens.
I still have to be here.
I have to be here. I have to hear it. I have to repair it and figure it out.
Do you hear that, best friends all around the globe right now? Yes. It's your job. It's your duty.
Yeah, absolutely. It's to be that person for her. You know what I mean? And I don't know how Chena feel still about. Of course, I'd have to figure it out, but I think there's still something like, I I don't really trust him yet so much. I'm not sure what this whole thing out. I haven't really been able to feel him out more. She's had, you know, obviously more relationships. She worked with him, and she's not really telling me much. You know what I mean? I don't know any of this stuff that's going on really. I'm just like, we doing a case with it? I don't understand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it's just like, okay, I understand, but I also do know that there's something about him that that keeps drawing her back, and I always joke that it's like, it's just because he's fine and it's his magic stick and all this stuff, but I'm like,
I can't with the magic stick. I can't with the magic stick.
So would you
guys.
be if it, you know, it's between the two of them, between maybe like TJ and Mac, would you be Team Mac or Team TJ?
I
With,
predicted this.
Who Rebel would get back
I
with.
digress.
Be quiet.
like who I would want it to be.
Either low key. Chena's like neither, honestly. But if you had to choose,
You have to choose.
You have to choose.
If I had, y'all put me in. If I had to choose.
Choose as Angela and then choose as Chena.
Negative. As Angela. No, I'm kidding. Choose as Angela. If I had to choose, just what would be like interesting, I guess I would say get with Mac, just because it's like
a twist. It's like a turn.
yeah, it's just kind of like it'd be fun.
Yeah.
Chena, I think
Neither.
yeah, she's like
F both of y'all.
Right.
I don't know how to feel it, but yeah, because this is all kind of messy. It's kind of, but I think that there's still more of a connection with TJ just because she was around more for that relationship. You know what I mean?
That's a good answer. All right. Well, speaking of predictions, we are going to do our predictions portion of the show. I don't know if we're going to get any strobes, but okay, we didn't get any. Normally there's like some strobe lights.
Okay.
But that's okay. So predictions, pretty much
TV prediction.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
Thank you so much. Isn't it magical?
It is.
It
was
is.
like
It'll
this-
change your life.
This magic person.
It'll change your
I
life.
put that in my room.
AfterBuzz TV prediction.
Get it again.
It'll change your life twice. So predictions, what we do pretty much is what I've been trying to do I've been trying to get stuff out of you since we were sitting outside. But we go around the panel and we pretty much predict what we think is going to happen in the next episode or the duration of the season. So since you know the show backwards and forwards and you're in it, you get to, I guess, just sit and just see us try to figure this puzzle out. So look at, you're like, okay, I'll sit back. All right, so I'll go.
And I can be a mute.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want
Give us
to,
some-
I mean, you know,
some type of clue.
you can give us some type of clue. But I guess I will do the same prediction that I had for after episode 5, which was Rebel will be in a situation where she will have to choose between Mac and TJ, and TJ is gonna find out that they've been getting a little too close, and that Mac has been wiping the eye with the water coming out, and he's not gonna like it. And there's gonna be an episode where that's gonna be a thing, where it's gonna be Mac and TJ and Rebel.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun dun dun.
Dun, dun, dun.
Okay.
I agree with that. That's a good one.
I thank you for that.
Steven,
I like that. You're like,
Thank you,
Right?
Steven. Thank you. He's really delivering.
I really enjoyed that.
Okay, Lynneisha, go on.
So
Go
yeah,
ahead.
I'm kind of there too. I think we are going to see a little bit more of Jackie, and we're going to find
I'm
out
here
a
for
little
Jackie.
bit. Yeah,
Team
I like 'cause
Jackie.
when we first were introduced to her, I kind of thought she was like maybe the girl that comes back all the time, and they were going to party and drink and things like that. But since
No,
she
she
has
really
now
stuck-
calmed down, and she is, you know, able to maybe hopefully ground Renee, I think we're gonna and also see the backstory of that relationship with her, Renee, and Rebel. So we'll see more of them.
I don't know. Yeah, I think the thing with Jackie is like she's gonna try, but Renee's not like having it. Like I think he's not he's a functioning alcoholic to an extent, but he's on a downward spiral because of everything that's happening. So she's gonna try to be there, but then he's gonna like, you know, do something where she's like, yeah, I can't. So that's gonna be an issue. With Mac and TJ, like, I don't know. I think just because I rock with Method Man, I'm like, he's just kind of put Mac in his place. Like, look, this is my wife, so there's gonna be an issue. Like, that's it.
I'm Team TJ. I'm Team TJ.
Yeah.
I will
like-
say that it gets real interesting.
Can't wait.
I don't know who because I have really bad memory loss.
Okay.
But something, you know, a little spice in there in the future.
Was any of it
Something that-
were who was the closest? Well, you can't say who, but was there anyone that was close?
Yes. Ish.
Okay. Okay. So we got a little yes in there. All right. Okay. Good. So
I guess we have
I guess we have to just stay on the edge of our seats and keep watching the show. Please keep watching the show. Angela Coe,
please.
thank you so much for coming in the building. We absolutely love, and I had so much fun with you. We met like a week ago.
Yes.
And
No, week and a half ago. Yeah,
week and a
yeah,
half
week
ago,
ago.
and we were already posing in pictures.
It
and
was a cute picture
doing a little
too.
homie. Oh, I love it. It's like one of my favorite pictures. I absolutely adore you. Thank you so much for coming to the after show. Tell everyone where they can find you once again.
Yes, at the Angela Co. We're right here, right? Yes.
Yes.
At the Angela Co. TheAngelako on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Yes, follow it all, guys. Thank you
Yes,
so
thank you.
much for tuning into the after show for Rebel. My name is Ava Hill, and you can find me on Instagram at the Ava Hill.
And you guys can find me on Instagram and on Twitter at Lynneisha_33.
And shout out to Sam Jones for hopping on the chat with us. Really appreciate it. Keep the comments coming. Keep the tweets coming. You can find me on everything at TK Trinidad.
Thank you, guys.
See you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.